Cornell, I've got to bring up, when she was running for the nomination in 2008, both overtly and covertly, the Clintons said some things that were repugnant and racist, quite frankly, in talking about our president, our current president. Does that stick with you?
Certainly, there are people within the African-American community, among Democrats, among Republicans, who were taken aback by comments in the previous campaign and held them accountable. So there's no lack of a critique for the Clintons with respect to the things that they've said. Certainly the comments about by Secretary Clinton in terms of super predators. But note the difference here. Secretary Clinton has taken responsibility for things that she has said. Mr. Trump, on the other hand, has not.
How did she do that? How did she take responsibility?
She talked about the term super predator. She talked about her crime policies. She came before the NAACP and talked in depth and in detail as to what she would do. Note, Mr. Trump,
Cornell,
on the other hand,
quick question on that, because you talked about what she would do on her crime policies. I mean, she lobbied Congress in 1994 on that crime bill, which actually oppressed minorities as well as the poor when Bill Clinton was president. And so I was wondering what her take was on that and how she addressed that issue with you. And while I got I want to congratulate you on beating the city of Philadelphia right now in the free speech thing, where you can actually run your ad.
Well, I will simply note this. Secretary Clinton stood flat-footed before the NAACP and spoke about sentencing. She spoke about criminal justice reform. She spoke about policing and community policing for at least 40 minutes.
Have you invited Donald Trump to speak in front of the group? Do you want to invite Donald Trump to the NAACP right now on this program? What do you want to say to Donald Trump right now?
We would simply say to Donald Trump what we have said all along, which is to say that the NAACP is a nonpartisan civil rights organization.
Are you inviting him to speak to your group?
Absolutely. We've extended serial invitations to Mr. Trump before he won the nomination and subsequent. And so the point being here, the fact that he has certainly declined to speak before the NAACP and other civil rights organizations speaks to the fact that he either does not have anything to say or does not know how to say it. Yeah, but in either case, people are listening.
I'm just saying, I mean, I know he has been doing this narrative about sort of a dire situation, but when you see things like the 500th murder committed over Labor Day in Chicago alone year to date, you wonder what's going on. I mean, what's your take in terms of reversing that course?
If you're truly concerned about the number of young people who are losing their lives in places like Chicago, then the way to respond to that is not merely with grief, but with specific policy prescriptions. So in other words, what would you do in terms of weapons on the street? What would you do in terms of youth unemployment? What we've seen from Mr. Trump quite often has been a campaign of complaint. He's lifted up statistically what's wrong with the African-American community as he has so defined it. He, however, has not spoken specifically about what he would do with the problems that plague the African-American community specifically and America more broadly.
Yeah.
That's a challenge here.
To be clear, he does have an economic plan, and he's talking about creating new jobs through his tax plan and through the rollback of regulation. I would say that is his plan.
I would simply say that he has become more specific in that regard as time has progressed. But note the calendar, 60 days out.
Right.
The point being here is, if he's just becoming familiar with large segments of the American populace this close to the election, this does not speak well.
We will leave it there. Mr. Brooks, good to see you, sir. Thanks so much.
It's good to see you.
We'll see you soon.